HOA kept reporting me to police, but officer, I don't even belong to their neighborhood. The air was thick with the scent of freshly cut grass and blooming roses. But for Marcus, the suburban street felt like a battlefield. He'd only been in Willow Creek for 3 weeks, crashing at his cousin's rental to help with her newborn. Marcus wasn't one for trouble, kept his head down, worked his delivery job, and avoided the nosy neighbors. But Karen, the self-appointed queen of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, had other plans. From the moment he parked his beat-up sedan in the driveway, she'd been watching. First, it was a note on his windshield: "No unregistered vehicles allowed." Then, complaints about his music barely audible through closed windows. By week 2, she'd called the police twice, claiming he was suspicious. Marcus didn't even live here, yet Karen had made him public enemy number 1. Started small. Karen, with her perfectly pressed blouses and clipboard, would march over daily, citing HOA rules Marcus had never heard of. "Your cousin's lawn is half an inch too long," she'd snap, or, "That bike on the porch violates aesthetic standards." Marcus laughed it off at first, thinking she'd tire out. But Karen was relentless. Her reports escalated alleged loitering, littering, even a claim he'd stolen a neighbor's garden gnome. Each time Officer Daniels, a weary cop with kind eyes, showed up, sighed, and left after Marcus explained he wasn't part of the HOA. "I don't even own property here, man," Marcus would say, hands raised. Daniels nodded, but Karen's calls kept coming. The tension boiled over one humid evening. Marcus was unloading groceries when Karen stormed across the street, phone already to her ear. "Yes, officer, he's trespassing again," she said loudly, glaring. Marcus froze, a bag of apples slipping from his hands. "Trespassing? Lady, I'm at my cousin's house," he shouted, voice cracking with frustration. Neighbors peeked from windows, drawn to the drama. Karen's accusations grew wilder. She claimed Marcus was part of a crime ring, targeting the neighborhood. The absurdity hit him like a punch. He wasn't even a resident, yet she'd painted him as a villain in her pristine suburban fantasy. Officer Daniels arrived, lights flashing but siren off. The street was silent except for Karen's shrill voice. "He doesn't belong here," she insisted, pointing at Marcus like he was a stray dog. Marcus's chest tightened. He was tired of the scrutiny, the whispers, the way Karen's words twisted his every move into a threat. "Officer, I'm just helping my cousin," he said, voice steady but eyes burning. "I don't even live here. Check the records." Daniels scribbled notes, glancing between them. The crowd grew. Neighbors Marcus had never met, their faces a mix of curiosity and judgment. Then came the twist. Mrs. Alvarez, a quiet widow who lived 2 houses down, stepped forward. She was barely noticeable, always tending her roses in silence. But now her voice cut through the tension like a knife. "Karen, you're wrong," she said, trembling but firm. "I saw you take that gnome from your own yard and blame him. I saw you write those notes." The crowd gasped. Karen's face paled, her phone slipping slightly in her grip. Mrs. Alvarez held up her own phone, showing blurry photos of Karen sneaking around at night, planting evidence to frame Marcus. "You've been targeting him because he's new, because he's different," she said, voice breaking. "This isn't about rules. It's about you." The revelation hung heavy. Marcus stared, stunned, as whispers rippled through the neighbors. Karen stammered, "That's ridiculous. She's lying." But the photos were damning, and Danielle's expression hardened. He turned to Karen, asking for her side, but her usual confidence crumbled. Marcus felt a flicker of vindication, but it was drowned by exhaustion. This wasn't just about him, it was about a community poisoned by mistrust, where one woman's need for control had spiraled into obsession. Daniels didn't arrest Karen that night, but he issued a warning. "False reports are serious, ma'am," he said. The crowd dispersed, some neighbors muttering apologies to Marcus, others avoiding his gaze. Mrs. Alvarez squeezed his arm before retreating to her roses. Marcus stood alone in the driveway, the weight of the past weeks crashing down. He'd been vindicated, but at what cost? He wasn't a criminal, wasn't even a neighbor, yet he'd been dragged through a gauntlet of suspicion. The roses, once a symbol of Willow Creek's charm, now felt like a cruel joke, beautiful but thorny, hiding the neighborhood's rot. The next morning, Marcus packed his bags. His cousin begged him to stay, but he couldn't. The victory over Karen was hollow. The damage was done. As he drove away, Willow Creek's manicured lawns faded in his rearview mirror, but the sting of being judged, of being an outsider in a place he never claimed, lingered. He wondered how many others Karen had targeted, how many had left silently, unseen. In the end, the neighborhood's silence was louder than Karen's accusations. No one had stood up for Marcus until Mrs. Alvarez, and even her courage couldn't erase the weeks of isolation. The roses would keep blooming, the HOA would keep ruling, and Marcus would carry the scar of a place that never wanted him. What would you do if you were Marcus, caught in a community's judgment? Share your thoughts on where justice lies in this tangle of trust and truth.